Greetings again. This is still part of Unit 4 about the coordinate plane and graphing. This is going to be right after your page that talked about standard form. So standard form is when your x and y are on the same side, equal to a number. So that things are easier to graph, we will often want to convert or change from standard form into slope-intercept form. To do that, it's like the literal equations that we did. We are trying to move everything else to the other side to get the y by itself. The last part, remember, should be in slope-intercept form. So not only is the y alone, but the mx, the number, and the x's are next to the equal sign, and the b is at the end. It may be equivalent if you have it rearranged, but it is not in slope-intercept form if it is not in the right order. So while things can be equal, it is not in the proper format if you do not have the x's next to the equal sign. So let's see how we can do that. And it tells we have those two steps at the top. We're going to be moving the x to the other side, so we're subtracting it because right now it's positive. So I'm trying to get this y by itself, so we need to get rid of these two x's. How are we going to get rid of them? We're going to subtract them. And whatever I do to one side, you know it, I got to do it to the other. So those x's are gone. Don't forget the negative on the 3y. So now I have negative 3y is equal to, now you could write 9 minus 2x. I would not suggest that because it will not be in the right order and you'll have an extra step at the end to rewrite it. So put the negative 2x next to the equal sign and then plus 9. And again, remember I'm doing that because I want my answer to end up looking like this. Like the other things that you graphed where y was by itself equal to some number of x's plus or minus some other number. That's where I'm trying to get. The y is still not by itself. Now we need, just like it says in step 2, divide by the coefficient of y. And we need to divide every part. This one, and this one, and this one. We cannot just do one big fraction because we need individual numbers. This cancels out. Then we have y is equal to 2 negatives in a fraction, make that positive 2/3 x. 9 divided by negative 3, negative 3. So first step, we subtracted 2x. Second step, we divided by negative 3. And now this is my equation in slope-intercept form. So if you have this written down, it is equivalent, but it is not in the proper format. And I would take a point off because that is not in slope-intercept form. It's not in the right order. Okay? Maybe you would still know how to graph it, but it's not technically in the right order. Okay? So let's take a look what else we have next. Reminder that you can always pause, try something on your own, then take a look. You think, oh, she's going to start doing this question, I'm going to try it on my own. And then you can take a look to see if you agree with me. You can also rewind, all those things. So it might seem like I'm going fast, but I might assume that you would pause. So these problems that we have here are currently in standard form, but we need to convert them from standard form into slope-intercept form and then make the graph. So down here below we have a nice amount of space, so I'm just going to rewrite my original problem. This one's a little bit of an unusual one because of the 0, but that's okay. Better for us to work an unusual one together. We want to get the x by itself, so I'm going to take away 5x because that's what would cancel out. Also, keep in mind you can just think of moving it to the other side, and when it moves over, now it's negative. When it crosses the line, it changes its sign. I'm going to squeeze those x's in next to the equal sign. Because this is 0, I could just leave that right there, but it's okay to write plus 0 so you'll remember where to begin. And then everything is going to get divided by -4. So y is now by itself. 2 negatives make that positive 5 over 4x. 0 divided by anything is just 0. Again, this would not have to be written. This part, I would not have to write that. Okay, that does not have to be written. But if you don't see it, please make sure that you would know it does mean we are starting at 0 on the y, which is at the origin. That's our begin point. So begin at 0, and then our slope is 5 over 4. Remember that this now is our slope, and this is our b. That the slope is not obvious to us when we're looking at it in standard form. That's why we're moving it around to put it in slope-intercept form. Then I can see I begin at b, and then I move with my slope. I'm going to go up 5, and then over to the right 4. And just like it had been before I cleaned it up, I could also go down 5 and to the left 4. And if I connect, if I connect my line nice and neatly, even if I didn't have this bottom dot, if I extend my line, it should go through that point. Sometimes there's only going to be one step, because if you look at this next one, 7x plus y is equal to -5. I'm going to move the x's over, right? I'm going to do minus 7x. So then I have y is equal to -7x minus 5. It's only one y, so I don't need to do a division step. Now, if the y had a negative sign, I would need to divide everything by -1, and if it has a number, of course, I need to divide. But here it's only plus y, so after we move the x, it's in slope-intercept form. I can start at -5, that's my b, begin at -5, and then my slope is -7. So what I really want to do is go down 7 and over to the right 1. But I do not have room to do that. So I'm going to change the place for my negative, because it still means -7. And I'm going to go up 7 and then left 1. So from the -5, up 7 and left 1. Now I can't do that again because I don't have space. I would just have to go with those 2 points. So now I'm going to connect those 2 points. Hopefully, decently. It's going to be a pretty steep line, right? Notice my slope was a negative and my line is going down from left to right. Okay? So I know those were only a few examples, but I hope that those will be helpful, especially since we've done literal equations before, about how you change from slope-intercept form, or from standard form into slope-intercept form. All right? And then after it's in slope-intercept form, then we can make the graph the same way that we have. All right, thanks so much.